the world's richest people. 1,000 billionaires worth trillions and nearly 9 million multi-millionaires. We reveal how they made their fortunes and how they like to spend it. Reinvention also played its part in making this man millions. This is Huseyin Ozer. 40 years ago he was homeless, living on the streets of his native Turkey. Now he's a millionaire 60 times over, with a successful chain of London-based Turkish restaurants.
I've achieved this all on my own, and this is a great blessing for me.
There's a drink on the house. Come on, have a drink on me. Champagne getir bakayım bana. Son, come on.
He's named his latest restaurant in London's West End after himself.
Good evening. I got to meet people, I greet them at the door. That's typical Turkish hospitality. And my own hospitality on top of that as well. Get the champagne then. Come on. Come on. I always like to do the glass of champagne, glass of wine on the house. That's how I started my business in the beginning. If I give them something, they say, who's this guy? Then they realize that I'm the chef Ozer.
Huseyin Ozer is the face of his restaurants. He's the heart and soul as well. Ozer is a self-confessed obsessive. He micromanages everything, from the ingredients to the cooking,
That's not enough. Five.
to the presentation.
He's an apprentice. Turn it down. That is better, okay? Good. Ahead.
Londoners had only ever known the simple doner kebab sold the world over. But in the 1980s, Ozer's Sofra restaurant revolutionized Turkish cuisine. Ozer's food is made from the freshest produce.
There used to only be kebab shops in London. A completely new setup was established with the arrival of Sofra.
Huseyin Ozer is a self-taught chef. He creates recipes that are a delicious modern interpretation of ancient Turkish and Mediterranean cooking.
The fish itself doesn't actually need much cooking. A bit more of something else is needed for this.
Ozer trains all his chefs himself. He teaches them everything from scratch, so that his methods are the only ones they know and use.
This is a classic Ottoman dish. It can also be described as a romantic man's dish as well. All right, Mustafa, let's have a taste. Grab a spoon.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
His 7 restaurants are fashionable and full, each turning over almost $4 million a year. But his success today is a world away from his childhood in Turkey. Huseyin grew up on the outskirts of Ankara, the capital city. His parents' unhappy marriage ended when he was young. Unschooled and unloved, he was sent to live with relatives in the country.
I was an unwanted child on both sides. Whenever I did something wrong, I got beaten. The beatings didn't upset me, the hunger didn't upset me. What upset me was not being able to go to school.
Aged 11, Huseyin ran off to Ankara's city centre.
I slept in public toilets most nights, or I'd try and stay awake in a coffee shop. I didn't have any clothes, just like I didn't have anywhere to sleep. None of this was a problem, because I was in Ankara now, and the future was mine.
Huseyin found shelter in a coal shed and taught himself to read and write. He couldn't afford a pen, so he wrote his letters on the wall with coal.
I spent all the money I earned on my education. I always wanted to learn English. I would speak it on my own when nobody spoke it. My friends would ask if I was mad.
By 1975, he had saved enough money to buy a one-way bus ticket to London.
I love it here so much. I love the people here. It's a good thing I came here. I think England is heaven on earth.
After 7 years working in kebab shops, he took a bank loan for $10,000 and Sofra was born. Ozer's unusual approach to pricing his food was as revolutionary as his menu.
In the restaurant in Mayfair, I got the customers to fix the kebab prices. I told them to pay whatever they wanted to pay. They set the prices for the wine and for the meals.
Up next, how Huseyin has a game plan for the future of gastronomics. Huseyin Ozer hit on a winning formula with his modern Turkish restaurants. His customers made him a millionaire by the time he was 30. 20 years on, he is as driven as ever. He owns a $10 million house in one of London's most secluded suburbs. But as it's too far from his restaurants, he rents it out. He lives here, in the heart of Mayfair, opposite one of his restaurants.
I live a simple life. I wear simple clothes, and I live in a place near my work.
Ozer wears only one brand, Japanese designer Issey Miyake.
Put that on the side, I'll take that one. Yeah?
To know how to spend money is 1,000 times more superior than earning it. It's much more important.
You see everything there. If there is something, you see it. If you go to other shops, you are lost. It's incredible. I had a headache. I always have headache in the other shops. This is perfect. This is heaven.
He already has most of this season's collection, but happily he's found a $500 shirt to add to it.
It's worth every penny of it.
Ozer wants the best of everything. He grew up knowing what having nothing really feels like.
Material possessions and wealth are important to me because they give me the chance to do things I want to do.
When he leaves the city, it's to indulge his passion for everything quintessentially English. He loves horses, both equine and turbine, and has reinvented himself as an English gentleman.
I love the whole country. I love the British people, all of them. I love their customs and feel really at home here.
I just love these animals.
As soon as I started making money, first money I made, then I just bought a horse.
With his wealth, Huseyin is able to enjoy an upper-class life.
Can we have some more tea then?
And the friendships he's made fill the void from his childhood.
I didn't have a family in Turkey. I came here and I had a family. And I have a great family.
Huseyin Ozer now wants to make his family of restaurants bigger. The man who revolutionized Turkish cuisine is hungry for more. A self-confessed workaholic, he has the appetite for yet more success.
There's another restaurant chain that I'm going to create after Sofra and Ozer. That is my dream. I'm working at that at the moment. It's possible for that to happen in a short amount of time. I'm waiting for you to see that surprise.
Next time on the world's richest people, the Dutch dentists who stared down death and made a fortune.
Jump off the cliff. Do it.
How one of the Arab world's most powerful women worked the stock exchange and got very wealthy. The Malaysian who put the planet first and is turning rubber tires into untold riches. And the ad man who taught